But I was like 26, I think, at the time, and I looked very young. I thought, and this was a while ago at this point. So I felt like people were not going to take me like a young woman seriously as a director. I didn't see myself getting any director jobs. So I was like, let me be an actor. I'll try to get some clout or whatever, like in acting
I wanted
jobs or
to ask
whatever.
you what brought you to acting. What is the thing that excites you about acting? Because a lot of people are actually wondering sometimes, what is the
Yeah.
thing about being an actress and actor, that's really kind of thrilling and exciting.
Well, I think as far as what's thrilling and exciting, you get to like break out of yourself, like the shell that we are in as people, where you're like, I grew up in Texas
Hmm.
and I was like, taught to be this polite lady, not say anything, also like Catholic and whatever. I think I was very contained. I really had like a throat chakra blockage as well. And always very emotional. Like I really, as well, I know a bit about my human design, so I know that I have an emotional authority. But I was incredibly emotional. I also went through a lot of stuff and always felt everything for everybody. I'm pretty empathic, and I didn't really know what to do with all of that, and it didn't have a place in the workspace. Like my first jobs out of school, I was like, I would get emotional when people tell me things or whatever, and my boss would be like, I hope that doesn't upset you. And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm a sensitive person. And I hate being judged,
Hmm.
in situations where I'm like, oh, I
Yeah.
can't just be myself,
Be
right?
yourself. Yeah.
But it's more than that. It was like you get to take on like physical characters, or like, in high school, I remember one of like a history teacher telling my drama teacher, I don't know how you got that sweet little Kathleen Kuhn to be so mean or whatever, because I was playing like a witch in the Crucible, like the leader
Hmm.
bad witch and in Salem, and it was super fun, right? You just get
Uh,
to like be somebody completely different, which is funny because we're talking about authenticity, but I think that helps you find your authenticity too, because you get to like, wow, just really be in your body. A lot of the work is and studies and everything and preparation is working on your voice, vocal production, your diaphragm, breathing differently. I was also somebody that in business school, when I would give presentations, I was so nervous. I hated being in front of people, and I would like just breathe in,
hmm.
and I couldn't breathe out while I was giving a presentation, and I was like, let this be over as fast as possible, and I really did not enjoy that. But when I got on stage and was like, had lines and I was somebody else, I was like just in my flow.
Yeah.
So I guess it got me to just like, oh, you feel like it's
Hmm.
invigorating, right? And
Yes.
thrilling, as you said, to just
So you can be
be
yourself
like,
completely,
I'm
different part of
bigger.
yourself. In some way, it's like a
Yeah.
permission slip for you to be who you are. And it
Yes.
seems like
Or
you had like
more.
or more
Yeah.
because your
Yeah.
upbringing was probably more like conceived or like people didn't express themselves maybe the same. They
And
were
you
kind
feel
of
very
keeping things
contained. Like you have to
contained.
be like good
Yeah.
and just like
So
quiet
kind of
and
give you like an
polite.
outlet, like where you could express yourself and be yourself. So that's kind of what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. So I want
And be emotional or
be
whatever
emotional and
comes up.
yeah,
Like
be
you're supposed to
emotional.
sit, you're just supposed to like be able to have access to all of it.
I just wanted to ask you because you kind of spent like 8 years without, acting or like, being like putting that on the side. How did
Yeah.
you feel not being yourself or not, doing what you really loved actually?
I mean, I was always like, people will tell me like I was a shell of myself. I was very depressed. I was always, oh, I was, even when I worked in this office, it was a fine job. I actually worked for a documentary filmmaker
Mm-hmm.
and her husband. They were New Yorkers, and I was doing like investment roadmaps for the former World Bank president's low carbon investment company, and then also setting up shoots for this documentary filmmaker as my first job out of college in Boulder.
Mm-hmm.
They had an office there, but they were living in New York. But I would truly have visions of like, I mean, I'll just share. I mean, I would be like, oh, if I were to just like slit my wrist and like flowers
Oh
sprouted I
my.
mean, but it was
Wow.
like an artistic, I don't know, it wasn't like I was really suicidal, but I was really depressed.
Yeah. So
And I just wanted to like be in nature. I mean, yeah, when I think about it, I'm like, it was,
yeah. Well,
yeah.
I'm glad you went back into, your passion because I think, and what you were here for. Because I think when you kind of suppress that part of yourself, it's a rough road. I think, a lot of people are always saying, it's easier not to do the thing that you really need to do, because there's a lot of fears and challenges. Like, you know what? That's the easy road.
Yes.
Not being yourself is the rough road. And, I think I'm really happy you embrace that, because I think, that's the only way you can really be happy and fulfilled and be thyself. So I'm really happy about that. So,
and I will say,
there's some, I got that for Kathleen, by the way. The tissue box, it's for her.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, please. So she can have it close to her. Sorry about that. Yeah, I knew this was going to happen. So I'm like, just give the whole box. There you go.
And also,
yeah. So,
also it's like, oh, morning. I'm still very I take a while to wake up, so I'm like in a very deep, subconscious space in the morning.
We can leave the box there if you
well,
want. That's fine. You might need it more for next time. That's kind of I'm really happy again that you went back into that. And I think for anyone who's actually kind of watching this and like, wow, I'm really unhappy here, and just ask yourself, are you doing the things that you really want to do?
Yeah.
If that's not the case, then that might be like the way to go, and kind of revisit that and kind of figure out for yourself what is the thing that really kind of inspires you, and go in that direction, even if it's like you put 10 minutes a day towards going towards what you like to do. Do it, because it's not fun. It's not fun to be like doing something you don't love, and it kills you.
It really does. It does. And even if it's not that it's so extreme as what I just shared, is sometimes just like numbness, or like you feel like spiritually asleep, right? And
So how did you actually kind of went from basically that job to going back into acting? You actually kind of what did kind of trigger that desire, and what happened there?